Citizenship on the Go. Lesson 11. Integrated Civics. Geography, Symbols, and Holidays. Part 3. The Capitol, the Statue of Liberty, and the Anthem. The Capitol of the United States is where officials of the three branches of federal government meet to do their jobs. The judicial, legislative, and executive branches of U.S. government all have their headquarters in the country's capital city. The first capital of the United States was New York City, but it was not long before the federal government was moved to where it is today. Today, the capital of the United States is Washington, D.C. The District of Columbia, or D.C., had the word Washington added to the name when it became the U.S. capital. This was done in honor of the first President of the United States, George Washington. The current president lives and works in the White House in Washington, D.C. An obelisk raised in memory of Washington, the first president and father of our country, stands close to the White House. Congress meets in the U.S. Capitol building. The Senate meets on one side of the building, and the House of Representatives meets on the other. The Capitol building is where senators and House representatives propose bills, debate proposed legislation, and conduct most of the other business of the legislative branch. The highest court in the United States meets to review law, interpret law, and resolve disputes concerning the Constitution in the Supreme Court building. Not far from the Supreme Court, there are federal government buildings named after John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, the second and third presidents of the United States. Many other buildings, monuments, and museums in the U.S. Capitol are maintained as reminders of important leaders and activists in our nation's history. In downtown Washington, D.C., for example, you can visit a library named after Martin Luther King Jr., a leader in the civil rights movement who worked for equality for all Americans. You can also visit the theater where President Abraham Lincoln was shot at the end of the Civil War. The theater where the shooting occurred, and the house where Lincoln died shortly afterward, are preserved as historical sites that remind onlookers of the war between the states that was fought because of the problem of slavery. In another area of town, people can visit the Lincoln Memorial. The Lincoln Memorial serves as a reminder of how Lincoln saved the Union through his leadership during the war that was fought between the North and the South. The Lincoln Memorial also commemorates how the Civil War resulted in the abolition of slavery throughout the nation. Nearby, the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Memorial reminds visitors of Roosevelt's actions as president during the Great Depression and World War II. And there are many other places to visit in the capital of the United States that are linked to important moments and figures of U.S. history. Civics Test Question. What is the capital of the United States? What is the capital of the United States? Washington, D.C. The capital of the United States is Washington, D.C. Not all famous U.S. monuments are in the capital. On a small island off the northeast coast of the United States stands one of the nation's best-known symbols. Liberty Island lies between the state of New Jersey and the state of New York, in a part of the Hudson River called New York Harbor. On Liberty Island is found the Statue of Liberty, one of the most internationally famous symbols of the United States. The Statue of Liberty was a gift to the U.S. from France. It was designed to symbolize freedom, democracy, and the friendship created between the US and France during the Revolutionary War. The statue depicts the Roman goddess of liberty, a broken chain at her feet. She's holding a torch of enlightenment and a tablet inscribed with the date the Declaration of Independence was adopted, July 4th, 1776. Because the Statue of Liberty is in New York Harbor, a major point of entry to the US in the 1800s, it was the first thing many European immigrants saw when they crossed the Atlantic Ocean to come to the United States. For many people, the Statue of Liberty has served as a symbol of new opportunities for immigrants who came to the United States for freedom. Civics test question. Where is the Statue of Liberty? Where is the Statue of Liberty? On Liberty Island. The Statue of Liberty is on Liberty Island in New York Harbor. New York Harbor is a part of the Hudson River, which lies between New Jersey and New York. The Statue of Liberty is located near New York City. The national anthem is another famous reminder of U.S. history and of ideals for which many Americans have fought. The words to the Star-Spangled Banner were written during the War of 1812. During a battle waged on the water in the War of 1812, the British bombarded an American fort for a full day. The morning after the bombing, an American named Francis Scott Key was inspired to write the Star-Spangled Banner when he saw the U.S. flag was still flying over the fort, showing that the forces of the United States had not surrendered or been destroyed. The Star-Spangled Banner was still waving, as Key put it, over the land of the free and the home of the brave. The national anthem has 3 verses, but usually only the first verse is sung. Even though the Star-Spangled Banner was inspired by the events of a battle fought in the 1800s, many Americans see the first verse as representative of struggles and campaigns throughout U.S. history. Like the banner, or flag, itself, for many people in the United States, the national anthem represents the idea that freedom, self-government, and civil rights are worth fighting for. Civics test question. What is the name of the national anthem? What is the name of the national anthem? The Star-Spangled Banner. The name of the national anthem of the United States is the Star-Spangled Banner.